UFC 254, Khabib versus Gaethje takes place this weekend, and there are a lot of good names on the card, including the main event, a huge pair of names in the main event. However, the prelims of this card are not so stacked, and that often means there's a lot of young prospects that are yet to make their name in the UFC, trying to get some shine on this card. So I'm going to tell you guys in this video the fighters to watch out for at UFC 254, Khabib versus Gaethje, starting with my first prospect. Let's not waste any more time. The first one, Shavkat Rakhmonov takes on Alex Oliveira on the prelims of UFC 254. Dangerous guy, okay? And I don't know why he was a huge underdog. I got him as nearly a 2-1 underdog on my bets. He's now evens with Alex Oliveira. Just to let you guys know, in 2 days, he has gone from almost 2-1 underdog, or a bigger underdog. I don't know if it was quite almost 2-1, but it was a juicy underdog to dead evens with Alex Oliveira. Oliveira is still a slight favourite, but still, I think that tells you all you need to know. When you see a betting line change like that over 2 days, a lot of people are doing their research, and I've done mine beforehand, so I'm very happy about that. Shavkat Rakhmonov is a savage. Fought at Battle of the Nomads, which is an amazing name of a promotion, and has some good talented fighters there as well. Normally when you hear a random name of a promotion out of nowhere, you think, oh, what cans are they going to feed to him? His nickname's the Nomad. Obviously, this whole event is built for him. He fought a guy 7-1, 10-4. Decently good opponents, I'll be honest with you. 12-3. That's a decent opponent as well. All of these guys are Battle of the Nomads. But one more important thing is he's been through M1. If you go through M1, you gain respect from me, because that puts you immediately in the tier list of the savage himself, Nate the Train Landwehr. Okay? And that's where things really get real. Okay? If you're coming through the same promotion as the GOAT himself, Nate Landwehr, I'm joking, guys, but still, Nate Landwehr's dangerous. But M1 is my point. That's a very, very strict talent pool of people, and you see that in the opponents he was taking on there. 4-1, 5-2, when he was 2-0 taking on guys 4-1, 3-0 taking on guys 5-2. I mean, this is good jumps up in competition early in your career. You must be very confident in yourself. And I think this is another jump up in competition against Alex Oliveira this weekend that he's going to pass with flying colours. He's a dangerous finisher early in fights. He finishes a lot of guys by submission, often by TKO as well. He's very dangerous, very explosive early in fights, which I think favours him in a short notice bout against Alex Oliveira, because he's such a quick starter, and I think he might be able to catch an older Oliveira who's taken some damage in his career. I said that he'd been TKO'd multiple times in my full card prediction video. He hasn't. He's been TKO'd once, but still, he has taken about 10 Ngannou KOs worth of damage in his career so far, because he always seems to go to war. I think that Shavkat Rakhmonov's going to get the job done. I think he'll get it done quite quickly as well. I think he'll get the finish in the first 2 rounds. Look at some of these opponents that he's taken on at M1 though. 12-3, 11-3, 28-6. I mean, these are good veteran, savvy fighters that he is destroying in the first round. He had fights booked this year as well. And that's a huge deal as to why these odds have changed. And I think this is the main reason, because a lot of people, when they see a short notice replacement, they think, oh my god, this guy's not going to be in peak condition. Shavkat Rakhmonov was already due to be signed by the UFC. I mean, he's been 12-0 for a while now, all the way since back in 2019 of June. He was supposed to take on Bartosz Verbinski in March, then Ramazan Emeev in July, the 7th. The 7th month is July, but still, in July. Then he was supposed to take on Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos on this card. Now Oliveira's filling in as well. I think that Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to get the job done. Oliveira taking this fight on short notice. He's a big boy for the 170-pound division. That's going to be a tough weight cut. So is Shavkat Rakhmonov, but he's a bit of a younger guy. How old is he? I want to say 24 years of age overall. I might be wrong, might be 25. Yes, in fact, he's 25. Embarrassing me royally, and soon to be 26 in 3 days as well. Maybe this will be a great Christmas present for him, but still, birthday present. Why would it be a Christmas present on his birthday? That makes no fucking sense, Guru. That was hard, man. Right on the temple as well. I actually kind of got rocked by that, but still, Shavkat Rakhmonov's going to get the job done. Moving on up the card, Un Jung. Dangerous guy taking on Sam Alvey. Also on the prelims of this card, fights a Korean top team. They're everywhere. These old top teams, they're everywhere. Or even in South Korea. Maybe not so far in North Korea, but, you know, we'll get there eventually, hopefully, with some negotiations. But still, Un Jung, dangerous guy fighting out of South Korea, beat Mike Rodriguez in the first round. That was the first big win of his career. Yes, he beat Kadis Ibragimov, but I feel like we've seen Ibragimov maybe take a little bit of a drop in stock recently after his recent performances, but still, Rodriguez, dangerous guy. And, Da Un Jung goes out there and just starches him in the first round with a straight right hand. Beat a guy in Sazan Milinkovic, 6-1 as well before then. He hasn't really fought good competition his entire career, but he's a young guy, and recently he's looked very good when he's taken a jump up, and he's passed it with flying colours. Like, yes, he went from fighting lower level opponents, but when he then jumped to the 4-0, the 6-1, and the 8-1, and 10-3, he finished all of them. So he's still very good. Like, he's proved himself against top-level competition. I think that Mike Rodriguez would annihilate Sam Alvey. That's not the only reason I'm picking Da Un Jung here. I just think that Sam Alvey, even after his performance against Ryan Spann, which was a split decision, which was crazy that Ryan Spann let that go to a split decision, I think Da Un Jung is just a little bit more of a faster, a little bit more educated, a little bit more technical Ryan Spann, and I think he'll have the patience to put away Sam Alvey, who's been KO'd plenty of times in his career by now, taking a bunch of damage. I think Da Un Jung is going to get the job done against Sam Alvey in the first round. Alvey's a dangerous veteran, and he often poses these threats to people. I don't know how many losses this is in a row for Sam Alvey. He lost to Ryan Spann, Clidson Farias Diabriu, Jimmy Crute by KO, Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira by KO. Like, he's lost to a bunch of guys, got KO'd by Derek Brunson as well. I just think this is going to be one too many. This will be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and Da Un Jung is going to get it done by first round finish against Sam Alvey. Looking forward to it. Moving on. Joel Alvarez, very dangerous man from Spain. I like this guy. He's beat a lot of good guys. He lost to Damir Ismagulov. Damir Ismagulov is one of the most dangerous guys in that division, and people don't give him credit for it whatsoever, and I have no idea why, because he hasn't fought in a while. I don't know why he hasn't fought in a while, but he was running through that division. I remember a time not too long ago where people were looking at Damir like, this could be the problem. Like, he beat Joel Alvarez, then he moved on. I mean, he beat Alex Georges before that, 7-0 at the time. 15-1 Joel Alvarez. Then he beat Thiago Moises by unanimous decision as well. 12-3. We've just seen Moises take out Michael Johnson. I mean, Joel Alvarez, no excuses, but the Damir Ismagulov one is a pretty reasonable loss to have, especially when you're a young guy, and Joel Alvarez still learning the game, now 27 years of age. Still got a long time being 27 as well, all the way until March. Basically almost half a year, but still taking on Alexander Yakovlev. And I feel like the same thing I said with the Da Un Jung one. They've set these guys up to make really good statements for themselves and get a real big spotlight on a good prelim card. The prelims aren't too stacked, but the people that are ready to watch Khabib are also going to be tuning into the prelims, so naturally they're going to get great viewer numbers, I'm sure. And Yakovlev's going to be very dangerous, I'm sure, but still, Yakovlev, I've seen him lose a lot of times, and I think that Joel Alvarez is a dangerous man, coming off a big win against Joe Duffy, 16-4, 12-3, 9-1 in his last 3 wins. Another guy, 14-3, 5-1, like, he's beat decent competition. Earlier in his career, he couldn't really find good competition, hence why he wasn't even fighting for a promotion. He was just fighting for Spain regional or Portugal regional, just some random shows out of nowhere to try and get fights. Eventually he signed with AFL, got some decent opponents, ran through the entire system until he got to the UFC and took on Ismagulov, lost that fight by decision, no harm done. Since then he's bounced back. I think he will continue to bounce forward now that he's bounced back against Alexander Yakovlev and look really good in the process. I will say he gets the job done by guillotine choke in the first round, similar to the fashion that he did against Joe Duffy. Very dangerous submissions. Good stand-up game as well. I think that eventually Yakovlev won't like the stand-up enough to shoot a bad takedown, and whether he goes for a Darce choke or a guillotine choke, that'll be up for Joel Alvarez, but I'm going for him by first round submission. Moving on, up the card. One more guy I thought I'd mention. It's Bam Bam himself. You guys know who this guy is. I just thought I'd give him a little bit of a feature here because he's the one guy that I haven't covered on this card yet that I care about. Anyway, you've seen some of those ones on the main card. Jesus, I'm not talking about them at all. Tai Tuivasa, 10-3, dangerous guy, coming off a 3-fight losing streak, so maybe you shouldn't really say a dangerous guy when he's coming off a 3-fight losing streak, but maybe you should say a dangerous guy when he's coming off a 3-fight losing streak, because that's the most dangerous a man can be, okay? This is a hungry Tuivasa, and I know he's hungry all the time, but this is like a specific amount of hunger relevant to the fight game, okay? And he's dangerous when he is, okay? And I feel like he's going to bounce back here against Stefan Struve. Big, tall guy. He's basically got a chance to repeat the Mark Hunt KO. Tai Tuivasa comes out very switched on in the first round, looking for big shots. Struve always takes a while to lead into fights, and I think that Tai Tuivasa is going to get a big KO. They are evens in odds right now. Don't get it, It's almost like they don't remember that Struve put his gloves down in the center of the octagon and said he's done not too long ago. Craziness. I think the Tai Tuivasa will get it done. Educated enough to stay off the ground with Stefan Struve, which is where a lot of people have had problems against Struve in the past. Struve is a very dangerous man. He's got long legs. He's got good triangles because of that reason. And good submissions because of that reason as well. He won a fight against Marcos Rodrigo de Lima. De Lima rocked him on the feet, then engaged in his guard and got submitted. I don't think Tuivasa is going to be engaging in his guard, keeping it standing, chopping at the legs, eventually going up high with a lead left hook. Exactly the same way as Mark Hunt got it done. It's going to be Mark Hunt reincarnate. Bam Bam Tuivasa gets it done by first round. Bam Bam. Thank you for watching the video. Those are my fighters to watch out for. And listen, just pay attention to him. But I just want to say this before we even round out this video. Did you hear the names I've just said in this video? Joel Alvarez. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous guys, okay? Very dangerous guys. I'll read you some of the names again because I don't think really it's settling in. Early prelims. Joel Alvarez opening up the card. 17-2 Savage. 17-2 on the early prelim opener, okay? Another guy that I included in my video today. Un Jung. 13-2 Savage. Coming off KO wins. Very entertaining fighter with quick finishing style. Same with Joel Alvarez. Very entertaining to watch. On the prelims against Sam Alvey. Cool. Another guy I mentioned in the video. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Very dangerous man. 12-0 on the prelims of the card. Against Alex Cowboy Oliveira, who everyone knows the name of. Those three are on the prelims. 12-0, 13-2, and 17-2. You go to the main card of the pay-per-view, where everyone is going to be tuning in, okay? That probably will do great pay-per-view buys. I reckon this one will get 1 million, around the milli mark, pretty easily because Khabib's name is attached. And Khabib previously beat McGregor, so that tends to do a lot for people's careers. But still, on the main card, out of all the records I just read you, you've got Jacob Malkoun 4-0 versus Phil Hawes 8-2. Worse than any of the records I've read you so far on the prelims, okay? Lauren Murphy 13-4 versus Lilia Shakirova 8-1. Like, it's just, why do they keep doing this? Shift over Murphy and Shakirova and Malkoun versus Hawes onto the prelims, slide Casey Kenny versus Nathaniel Wood on there, and rearrange these other prelims. I don't know why these random trash cans keep getting positions on main cards of pay-per-views. I don't get it at all, man. And when I'm fucking dictator of the UFC, those matchmakers will be eliminated. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. And guten Tag. Or Toodle Pip. I revealed my German roots.